Hello everyone. This video that I was just playing is one of my favorite videos that I ever made, and I thought it would be a fun little attention grab for the beginning because it's a video that I made just for fun, and it's a video that I made at the beginning of my hiatus after I paused with making series on YouTube. And just dove into the world of life and all of the opportunities that my YouTube channel gave me. It was literally just because I love Sims a lot and I love music a lot and videos, and I put everything together into one little music video. So hello, my name is Evie. I am a social media content creator and I love everything music and game culture. Sadly, Cougar couldn't be here for the panel today. He is our VIP guest. He was going to be the person talking to you. He is very reputable, has been in a couple of indie movies and projects, and he has like more than a million subscribers on YouTube, and he has taught me so much about the algorithm and what it takes just to be a YouTuber in general. However, the coolest thing about that is that Cougar himself got his start working for me. So when we were both kids in high school, I was making stuff with The Sims because I loved it, little videos on YouTube. And Cougar auditioned for one of my series because at the time, this was back in, oh my gosh, everything super popular when I was really trendy. It was like 6-7 years ago. And I was getting hundreds of auditions for one character in a Sim series that is both the bane of my existence and the highlight of my existence. It was called Life's a Beach. And Cougar auditioned for, it was either that or another movie that I did, and just there he started practicing with his voice acting and built that into where he is now. So as his little baby stepping stone, I'm here to talk to you today about how I got my start and how it led me into the field that I am in today, which currently I am an associate cutscene camera artist for Rockstar Games. I'm working on a lot of stuff that I can't say, obviously, but of course Rockstar created Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption, and because of my love, as a kid in school, just making Sims videos, I ended up being able to do it professionally as a career, now making cutscenes for one of the biggest titles that there is. I even got to work previously, before I was at Rockstar, at Electronic Arts on the Sims team, and I was making a lot of videos for them, both in the game and just publicly for all their trailers. I'll show you one of my favorite trailers that I made for them as well. But I'm just going to talk about just a little spiel from the beginning of where I kind of got started and what I do now, and I'm happy to answer any questions about if you guys have any questions about what you can do to grow yourself, what some of the tips and tricks you would like to just like get into building your own little community, and yeah, any other stuff like that. So I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm going to show you some real ratchet stuff. This is, so the very first series that I made is called Life's a Beach, like I said, which is, by the way, on social, I was known as Twist TV Show. That was my whole brand. The reason I came up with that name, actually, I had a very rude awakening reminder as to why, because honestly, I forgot why I went by that username. But the entire reason was when I was even younger, maybe 9, I wanted to make movies really bad. I wanted to be a director, and I had this crazy idea for a show called Twist, which was a time travel show that I recorded on a camcorder with a little VCR tape thing in it. It's very cringe. I have privated all of those videos. You'll never see them. But that's how I ended up with the name Twist TV Show. Right now, as I go by Evie, my socials say Evie from Nowhere. I've also started dabbling into music, so that's why you'll see my first music video on my channel. But back in the day, it was Twist TV Show. So this is 9 years ago. Life's a Beach is a kind of soap opera-y, I don't know, it was just drama. you know, when you play Sims and you just like get attached to a Sim, then you throw them in a pool and they drown and they die, or like they have a bunch of babies and you kill them all, or I don't know. I loved the drama of that and I made it into a show. So this story was basically about a supermodel named Sky Blue, because I was creative. And she really wanted to live a normal life because all her life her parents pushed her to be this amazing model from like birth. And she was like, I don't want to be famous anymore, Mom and Dad. I want to do my own thing. So she got a little beach house in a place where no one would recognize her. And she was like, oh, well, if I can live a normal life, I'll be much happier. But ended up facing a lot more consequences in this life than she did when she was very elitist. There's a lot of romance and a lot of weird things that ended up happening. My most popular video is called Hot Tub, and it got 7.3 million views for reasons that are obvious by the thumbnail. But it really wasn't that crazy. I was like 13, so it wasn't anything crazy. They just kissed in the hot tub, and I thought it was romantic, but the internet thought it was more. So that really launched off Life's a Beach, and it started getting lots and lots and lots and lots of views. Regularly, at minimum, at least 50K per each episode that I released, with people asking me so often when the next episode would come out in my comments, that I would have to literally tell them, like, hey, hold on, the next episode's coming, it'll be okay. So I'm going to show you just a little snippet of where I started. I'm going to show you that most popular episode. It's only 3 minutes. Actually, yeah, it's only 3 minutes. And it is really badly done, very terribly done. But then I'll show you my progress over time and what just the dedication to continuing to do something that I really liked got me. So this is that popular episode, Hot Tub. Oh, it requires age verification. Never mind. I'll show you another one that's super short. Let me see where we can go, because sometimes they're like 10 minutes. Let's see, I'll show you maybe the first one. It's 5 minutes. I'll show you a little tiny piece of the first one. It's very, very, very bad, low quality, bad microphone. Advertisements. YouTube. Here you go.
Life. We wasted away trying to figure it all out. Everyone wants to know who they are, what their calling is. But I knew ever since I stepped foot onto the ocean shores. The water was my calling, and it had been screaming my name for so long. The ocean was a part of me, and I spent every minute of any given day dreaming and wishing to be near the coast. So when I finally got old enough to make my own decisions, I moved into a small beach house on the shoreline. Sure, it was a bit of a downgrade, seeing as I had been raised in a wealthy family all of my life, but to me, the feeling of simplicity was the most special feeling of all. Since I was a toddler, my parents stuck 10 cameras in front of my face, using their own child as a source of their income. Now whatever, modeling was fun and all, but being famous wasn't exactly my aspiration to begin with. Everywhere I went, I was recognized, as if I had no privacy at all. The life that I had been oh so graciously given had turned into everyone else's. But now, I hoped all of that would change. I didn't want to be recognized as anyone's role model, and I didn't want paparazzi climbing up the walls to my window every night. Moving into the beach house was a step away from fame, and a step closer to the life I'd always dreamed of having. My own.
This Fireflies intro is so nostalgic to so many kids now that people have been coming back to my channel recently and commenting now, and actually I keep getting comments like every week now that people are saying, oh my god, my childhood, oh my god, I remember this, I'm watching it all again, this is such a big part of my childhood. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy, but these are some of the main characters. It's so, like I said, so poorly done, but at the time, it was very popular to people. So much so that Life's a Beach ended up getting enough traction that I entered the Sins International Film Festival, and it won Best Picture at the Sins International Film Festival, and I was immediately dubbed a Machinima Master instantly, which is like the highest title that you could have in that festival, the entrants are this niche. It is like such a weird cult since there's so many like weird things, but there are always at least 100 entries, and it was building up more and more each year to the point where at some point they felt like they had to shut it down. They just didn't have the bandwidth. This was a volunteer thing. I think a couple of years ago it became something that like lost traction because they were paying to accept entries from all over the world, and it just got really, really huge at the time. So that was the very first Life's a Beach that I did, and with that traction I ended up doing 3 seasons. After the movie, Sky, she ended up, basically Sky ended up getting into a love triangle with these 2 dudes who were both kind of awful, one of them way more awful than the other one, had a kid through a situation that was very, very controversial with one of the dudes. And just, I don't know, there was a lot. Her best friend was like getting abused by her boyfriend. There was a plane crash and they got stranded on a desert island. Like, the show just had a whole bunch of random drama. And I think that the appeal of that randomness was something that Sims fans like grew attention to. But over time, Life's a Beach went on over a couple of years, and Life's a Beach season 3 was the last one that I ever did. It was incomplete. It stopped at episode 4 because at that time I was going to school. I went to college for film. I didn't really have much time anymore, versus before I had a lot of time because, you know, school. Every time I got home from school, I would stay up till maybe like 3 a.m. and my parents would be barging down my door like, "You have a geometry test in the morning, what are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Mom, this is important, I'm not just playing a game, trust me, I have fans, Mom." And she understood that actually to the point where she realized what I was doing and the people that I was connecting with, and she helped me go to my very first panel at Anime Midwest, where a bunch of my fans came out to meet me with their little plum bobs on their head, and I had a panel very similar to this one. That was very surreal. People were buying my merchandise offline that said like Team Jake or Team Connor, and it was just a really weird time for me as like a 14-year-old at the end there. So this is how my skills kind of improved over time. I feel like I'm better now, and I am going to be relaunching a new Sims series in Sims 4 soon, so I'm excited to get back into it. But 7 years ago, I was still working with Sims 3, but it is really cool to see the quality change and the drama and everything that I learned from taking film classes go into what was created then. So this is the trailer for season 3. This is starring Sky's daughter as an adult, and she's very troubled, obviously, because she was a child going through all that plane crash, love triangle stuff. It was a lot for her. So this is the trailer for season 3.
You already know my story. It's been all over the media. I'm just so done with it. This was until everything changed.
Valentine's Day became a really, really big part of the Life's a Beach fandom. because in the very first, or maybe it was the second episode of Life's a Beach in season 1, there is a quote from Sky where she meets Jake for the first time and she says, "Now baby, I know it's not February 14th, but you can be my Valentine." The cringe, but everyone hung on to that for so long that I sold merch t-shirts with it, and I started releasing every big new release of Life's a Beach on Valentine's Day. It became like a thing for my fans that they hung on to. And I call my fans my family because that's the kind of community that we built around it. I didn't like the idea of people liking me for me and the things that I did. I really liked working together with them. As a matter of fact, in season 2, I did an interactive episode where when they were on that stranded island, there was an option at the end to decide which character was going to go forward across the ocean to communicate with one of the natives, and I let all of my fans vote and decide in the next part of that episode who they wanted to go. So I let them control the narrative, and we were all just working together to create this story that we were all so guilty pleasure addicted to, I would say. So working on this, of course, I did a bunch of other things during this time. As a machinima master, I also created this series called 723, which was a post-apocalyptic series. That was very, very fun to do, really detailed in that way. And then I also did this movie, this 30-minute film called Black Sun, which I will find here, trailer for. And this also won in the Sims International Film Festival again, both for Best Picture as well as Best Editing and Title Sequence. I put a lot of time and effort into Black Sun for no reason, man. I was just putting time into it when I should have been doing my homework, for real. But I worked with a lot of other people, other graphic artists that I knew. There's a lot of CGI in this. There's a lot of original animations from animators in the community just to bring to life a space movie in The Sims 3, which you can't really go to space. I mean, there's a planet called 6am, I believe it is, that you can visit. But in order to create this, I had to create original content. So this was the trailer for Black Sun, which I was making alongside Life's a Beach. God, this Adobe After Effects intro. It was so cool back then.
We permanently visit pose a threat to the Earth, all of its inhabitants. Visiting the planet and confronting them before they confront us is our current plan of action. I promise I'll be
that was really, really fun. I'm so super proud of that one. So yeah, basically, I just spent, as you can see, a lot of time working on Sims. Machinima is what it's called. Machinima is the use of, well, dictionary definition is using computer games in some way to create an animation. A lot more can go into that in some games than others. I had the most freedom with Sims because I could create everything, so that was my choice for that. But other people have made machinima in Call of Duty. You might know Red versus Blue, Halo, Minecraft machinima is really big. But this was always my choice because I could really create the vision that I saw, and I spent like 4 hours working on every sim. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, there was this balance that I was doing while I was studying film where you can see that I was paying more attention to general film terms and lighting and things like the rule of thirds and shots and pacing, way more attention to it than I was in the very beginning when I was just recording for fun. But I just kept doing it and kept learning until it made sense to me. And yeah, I just also kept making trash TV while I was making other sci-fi movies and stuff. Eventually, I kept doing this all the way into college. It was sparse, of course, Life's a Beach ended, but I was still doing things here and there for fun. And I went to Japan, and I met that guy over there, my husband. And in Japan, when we became friends and started dating, when we came back, we decided we wanted to pick a coast to work in. I'm from Chicago, so I was going to school in Michigan, and he was living in South Jersey, and we were long distance for a little bit. But we wanted to figure out, where do we start working? Was it going to be LA, or was it going to be New York? Because I wanted to stay in movies and videos and stuff like this. I wanted to do that as my career, so I wanted to pick what made sense. And he really liked cities too, so we ended up picking New York. And I packed up everything because he was in South Jersey already. I packed up everything and I stayed in an Airbnb that was roach infested in Trenton, New Jersey for a bit. And my mom has always been so supportive of me. She was like, "Are you gonna be okay? Do you know that lady? It's gonna be fine." I was like, "Yeah, Mom, I got this. I'll find a job." And she trusted me. I've always been very dedicated to getting something in my field. The first internship she got me was at a radio station when I was 13. And I totally, everyone around there was like, "You're having an internship? You're 13? What?" It was weird, but I was running around the TV station ready to do whatever I could. So here I was in Trenton, just got out of college, and I landed my first job at Adobe doing motion graphics outreach assistance for Adobe stock. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to land in. I wanted to do something creative. At this time, I didn't really know it was possible to work in games, but I saw that Rockstar had an opportunity to work as a machinima creator, and I was like, machinima? I can put that in my resume? I can do that for real? Because I just do this with my Sims, like, for fun. So I tried to get that job. They never got back to me. So I was working at Adobe, but I still kept doing this. And at Adobe, one of my coworkers said, "Hey, I found this really weird job posting online. Someone in a community that I work for is looking for someone who specifically makes Sims videos to do a project for them." I was like, "What? Like a real human being off of the internet wants someone who makes Sims videos? I mean, sure, I do this all the time, I'll try." And so I I took the opportunity, and it ended up being a job for Condé Nast, them, who wanted someone to make a Sims video for a project that they were doing alongside, like, I don't know if you guys know Condé Nast. They do Vogue, and that building, I felt like an imposter walking into that building. That building was like white floor-to-ceiling walls, like you just biometric scanned to get in. It was scary. Scary being in there, but I was there because I worked on Sims videos, and I was just doing my thing. This is the video that we ended up doing. So it was a video that was just like if queer people ran the world, and it was them working with the Sims team. In Electronic Arts, they just wanted to do this article to talk about queer individuals and queer identifying individuals making a world for themselves in The Sims. And this is what we made.
So that's when, well,
if queer people ran the world, fashion would always be a show.
coming out would be a party.
Queer people could just frolic on the beach, which abs never existed.
In your perfect world,
Yes.
that makes sense. Certain queer people see the world absent of binaries. They've been willing to explore what people have shied away from. If you applied that to every other aspect of life, imagine how beautiful it would be.
That's just a little social bite. The full video is on their channel, of course, but they said I could share that, so that made me happy. And working on that, Electronic Arts and Maxis, their representative, was like, hey, who made that video? We want them to actually work on our cinematic team. And I was like, what? Me? Sims? Like, I've been doing Sims all my life, oh my god. I was fangirling so hard. And I was like, yes, of course, definitely. And I ended up working on the Sims team, making videos with them. So I want to show you one of my favorite videos that I made with the Sims so far. I really love making music videos. Remember how I said one of the first things I showed you guys at the beginning of this panel was just a music video that I made for fun. I love making music videos. So when Maxis said that their concept for the Spa Day trailer was just a music video, my boss looked at me and she was like, okay, we're making a music video, just tell me what you think. And I worked together with my team to make this. Oh gosh, not regular Spa Day. Scene, Phineas and Ferb, yes. That's correct. Let me take a trailer, there we go. All right, this is the trailer that we did. This is what I ended up making as an adult. So we jumped from 9 years ago to now 1 year ago. So much fun, this video. I was like, what are you guys gonna do about how much you have to censor this song? Okay, whatever. Yeah, so that was super fun. And yeah, so with all of that experience, I was just continuously working on the Sims team until eventually someone reached out to me on LinkedIn, and it was an alumni from my same university who was the cutscene director for Rockstar. He was like, hey, you make all these Sims videos, so I saw that you reached out about joining the cutscene team. Are you still interested in that? And now I am in that position after all of that. That's the full story. And I wish I could show you, but I cannot show you anything from Rockstar at all. I can't even talk about it. So if you have questions about that, I can answer. But yeah, that's where I'm at this point. And now that I am away from The Sims and on Rockstar, I am once again motivated to get out of the hiatus that I've been in to start working on Sims content on my channel again. So in addition to working on my own music and sharing music videos, I'm also working on a series where I'll put my own music as well on my channel, and that's going to be called Junkrats, and it's coming out this summer. It's a micro series, so each episode's only 5 minutes long, and there's only 7 episodes, but they're just going to be really pretty, really short episodes. One thing that I will also note is, since it's a voiceover series, that means there are voiceover actors in it. I mentioned that Cougar McDowell was a voice actor for me in the past. And basically the way that that works is by putting out a casting call online. So anyone from all over has auditioned for my series time and time again. And it's really fun going through auditions and picking voice actors for projects. But for this one, for the Comeback series, I just stuck with who I knew. So, and the connections that I've made over time just to make something that's meaningful to myself. So I'm really excited to get that going. And on the more technical side of things, I've been thinking a lot about how YouTube has changed. We went from chocolate rain to people arguing about people arguing for views. So it's very different now, because back then I could just keep posting things without really worrying. Oh, you tagged things on YouTube back then, now tags don't even matter. And my videos would grow their audience in that way. Remember when YouTube also let you see who you were subscribed to on the front page? Now they just show you what they want you to see. It's a really different world for a content creator on YouTube now. So I think that's the biggest thing for me to navigate now is I have to really market myself and I have to go by the algorithm and everything. So that's where I am at. I don't know if anyone has any questions about like growing a following or connecting your hobbies or your YouTube to actually having that become a full-time career, or even continuing to do it as a side hustle or making YouTube your full-time career. I can answer any questions. Yes, questions. Oh, this has been like a demonstration. What video editor do I use? Right now I am using Wondershare Filmora because Creative Cloud is so expensive. I love Premiere Pro though. I grew up working with Premiere Pro. It's basic for you to learn in school, like in film school, so I have muscle memory with Premiere. But I love Wondershare Filmora a lot. A lot of people I know use Sony Vegas, but yeah, I use Filmora because it has a lot of graphic stuff built in. It's pretty fluid. Yeah.
Did you think about converting to DaVinci as well many times?
I converted to DaVinci. I've used DaVinci. I love DaVinci's color editing and color grading. But I don't know. I think about converting all the time. Sometimes I think about just switching to Avid entirely because that's like second media standard. But yeah, right now I'm just using Wondershare. It's been, for a free open source program for the most part, it's been very, very, very versatile. I would compare Filmora or Wondershare to if you took Premiere Pro, made it look as easy as like Final Cut, but then gave it all of the abilities that DaVinci has. Yeah. Any other questions?
So when creating content, do you find it more important to think about what your fans would want to see or what you would want to see?
That is a really good question. I think it's important to have a healthy balance of both. You can get burned out really, really, really fast just always making content for other people. If I think about what my fans want to see only, then I'm not going to enjoy it anymore. This happened in Life's a Beach once. A lot of people were saying that that they wanted. Okay, spoiler alert, no one's gonna go back and watch this 9-year-old series, but I killed Connor. Did I kill Connor? Yeah. No, I killed Jake. And a lot of people, were telling me that they wanted Jake to have this like redemption arc as a character because honestly, like he is a character. He's a very, very complex character. I don't know how my child brain thought of this, but he drugged and took advantage of Sky. That is how she had her child. And like got some form of redemption in her life because she forgave him. And I, like personally, have my own feelings about that, but I wanted to present this to the audience as a way for them to like think about this really conflicting story and put their opinions towards it. And a lot of people were telling me like, oh, Jake should redeem himself, he should be a hero, he's a nice guy, he didn't mean it. But there's no morals in that. I'm trying to make Game of Thrones in The Sims, man. So I killed Jake. Yes, I had Connor beat him to death at Connor and Sky's wedding because Jake once again tried to marry Sky. And I was very happy with that. A lot of people were very sad. But they kept watching because it's the story and their characters are there. But I had to make that sacrifice for myself because it's just what I believed in telling a good story. Other questions? Yeah.
Do you have any advice for starting like a gaming channel?
Yeah, definitely. I have dabbled in sharing just general gaming videos before. I shared like a Black Desert video once. I don't know why I did that. And I have a lot of friends who do general gaming channels, and I also share other games that I play on Twitch as a streamer. I think that when it comes to any kind of content you make, whether it's games or sewing or guitar or anything, the number one thing that you have to do is be consistent. 100%. Consistency is key. YouTube likes consistency now. So with the new YouTube algorithm, they like when you're posting a lot of videos, and they like when you're reaching out with your audience and connecting with them through other platforms to bring them to YouTube. Sorry. Reaching out through other platforms to bring them to YouTube. So with your gaming channel, some people say you should stick to a particular game, and that being a variety gamer will never really get you the following that you're looking for. I find that that is not 100% true. I find that that's not 100% true. And as long as you showcase one thing over time that's continuous, that is what's going to get you success as a creator. So for example, if you're playing 1 million games, but you are someone who always wears a pirate hat in every video, you're the pirate hat gamer. That's what you're doing. Keep something that's unique to your brand consistent, and no matter what you do, keep putting things out, and you'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Without further questions, we're gonna jump into our next panel and prep for that. It is about digital designs and like inspired. Is it your name? Is your panel?
I did.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I hope that you can enjoy. I'm gonna pass everything directly to her, so everybody like stretch if you need to, but please go ahead and enjoy. And thank you so much for learning about YouTube and content creation today. My name again is Evie. You can follow me on Instagram at Evie from Nowhere. It's IVI. So yeah, that's not up here anymore, but IVI from Nowhere. Thank you.